a bunch of things that we can do when we're strumming the guitar beyond just strumming it. There's a lot of different ways that we can make the strums more interesting and more dynamic, richer in all sorts of ways. And so in this video, we're going to talk about some next level ways to improve your strumming. If you're strumming some tunes, then these are some things that you can do to dress those strums up. So first things first, we're just going to review the basics of strumming, and then we'll add layer upon layer to that. So to begin with, the first step is to look below and find the subscribe button and subscribe to this channel. And for bonus points, click the bell for the notifications, and that way you know when new videos drop. All right, step 2 is to count aloud and strum to 8. So here, I'm just gonna mute out the strings. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're just reviewing the basics of strumming. Downs are always the odd numbers, ups are always the even numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, moving from the elbow. Next we can ghost numbers. And so this is where we actually start getting some real strumming patterns. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that turns into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It turns into different strumming patterns. So any two numbers are going to have a different feel to them. For instance, 3 and 7. It's going to have a different feel. So that's a basic way of learning to strum, of remembering what strums you're using for different tunes if you're doing it in that way. So beyond that, we can now add to that. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll start to accent certain numbers. And so if we're looking at it as 8, then an accent is one that is louder than the other ones. And the best thing you can do for accents to begin with is to bring everything down. So to begin with, just play everything quieter, so that whenever you hear an accent, you can actually hear it. You're not going from loud to a little bit louder. You're actually going from soft to loud. So now we have a very loud note and then a bunch of soft notes. And that way, we have these two levels of sound going on. And this is great to practice. It's great for your hands, for your body, for all of your technique, because that's way, even if you're playing classical guitar music, what this enables you to do is to learn how to do accents and different levels of sound with big muscle movements and big strokes. So regardless of what style you play, strumming is great for that. So here we have a loud note on 1, 1. So to begin with, we'll make the notes before the ghosted note loud. So we have, to begin with, we have 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can also take out number 4 because that's right before 5. And that's going to sound like this. That gives us a nice bump on an even number, which is an upbeat, and that's going to give some real feel to the music. And you don't have to do both of these. You could do any number that you would like to. You could just play with it and see, what does the 3 sound like? What does the 7 sound like? Each one of them. So this is accents. If that's all you do is to start playing with accents, everything that you play as you're strumming your pieces, everything you play is going to sound so much more dynamic and so much more complex because there will be these levels of sound. It's like 3 dimensions versus 2 dimensions. The next technique that we'll use is to add a thumb note. Now you could, if you're playing with a pick, you can just play one note with a pick, but typically we're going to do this, it's going to be one of the bass strings. So whatever the root of the chord is, if it's a C, then that'll be the lowest note of your C chord. If it's a G, whatever it is that you're playing. So we'll use this as a little underline to the number. So this, then we have, instead of playing the down strum on the 1, we'll just play the thumb on the root note. So now we have. So now it sounds like 2 different people playing. You have a bass player and you have the guitar doing the strumming. Now you can combine this with your accents. And And all of a sudden, there's just so much going on. Now, you can also have more than one bass note within the same measure of music here, like that happened to be kind of a honky-tonk sound or an old Western type of sound to it. But putting a bass note on a different number would have a different effect, and you can play with that. Now, the next technique we're going to introduce here is a percussive technique, and that's where you just stop on the strings, or you come more into the strings, kind of at a downward angle, and do this type of movement. That gives you a little bit of a percussion. The strings slap against the fretboard, and it gives you a percussive sound, such as it gets you another, it's almost like a snare drum. So that's another sound that you can get in there. And you can put that, as I just did on the 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Or you can also do the percussion on 2 numbers. And so in this case, 3 and 7. It's almost like it's a backbeat snare drum sound. So now just for fun, let's take this and just add all 3 of these. We have accents, we have thumb notes, and we have percussive sounds. And so let's put them all into one. So we'll have a thumb on the first. We will have a slap on the 3. We'll have an accent on the 4. So that way we have boom. And then we'll also have the percussion on the 7 as well. So we have. It's a very cool sound. And so you can just style this in any way that you would like to. If you would like to add some depth to your pieces, then you can look at the different, if you're just strumming different songs, you can look at the verse, the chorus, and the different verses, the different choruses. You can start to add and layer these as you go on. So you start very simple, and then maybe by the end of the piece, you have a much different sound. And so for different sections, you can use different strokes. Well, now all the examples that we've used, they're all in 4/4 time, which means that we're counting to 8th. We're counting the 8th notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not every song is that way. So let's just talk about a couple of other types of time signatures. So this is just the different feel of the song. Another very common one is the waltz. And so this is 1, 2, 3. There are 3 beats in a waltz. And so we can also think about this as a boom, chuck, chuck. So boom, chuck, chuck, bass, up, up, or just strum, 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 but typically all downstrokes. Now, if it's really fast, it'll turn into something different. And so you can also, so that becomes something different. But for this, what you can also do is put in any 8th notes that you would like to. So for instance, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2. It's still a boom, chuck, chuck, boom, chuck, chuck, boom, chuck, chuck, down, down, down. With the waltz, it's great to put a thumb note on the first. It's very common to go, that's the boom in the boom, chuck, chuck. Boom, with thumb, strum, strum, thumb, strum, strum. Well, now another common time signature is 6/8, and 6/8 time is wonderful. It's like a fast waltz. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But here's the thing. In a group of 6, the accent is on the 1 and it's on the 4. So it becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The big beats are on the 1 and 4. So when we're playing this and we're strumming this, then we want to accent those. So in 6/8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, and 1 is a down and 4 is an up. So this one is used for jigs. It's used for a lot of different types of dances. It's a great, if you're playing a bunch of songs, playing and singing or accompanying someone, it's great to put in a couple of pieces in 3/4 time and in the waltz and in 6/8 time, more of a jig feel, because it makes such a nice contrast with the basic 1 through 8, the basic 4/4 strum. I'll also mention for the 6/8 strum that you can also ghost the 2 and the 5 again. So that gives us. it gives a slightly different feel, or just the two. So it's just a different way. You can play around with it depending on the piece, depending on how you're feeling that day. You can do different things. So these are some different ways that you can dress up your strumming. So just to review, we have accents, making one or two notes louder. We have bringing the thumb in on some bass notes, and so that we create this ghost bass player in the house. And number 3, we have the different percussion sounds. And with the percussion, we talked about this one. There's also, you could do any sorts of, some people go really big on the percussion. I call it the August Rush playing, where there's a lot of different, all different sounds. And so you can play with that as well in your strumming. So those 3 ways of dressing up your strumming will go very far to making your music much more lively and exciting to play and to listen to. So if you enjoyed this video, please do look below and subscribe to this channel. Push that button and also push the notification bell so that you can get an email with new videos. All right, best of luck in your strumming. Play well, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.